Today on the We Share podcast, in recognition of Mother's Day, Alex and Julie discuss advice from their mothers, challenges and embarrassing moments from motherhood, like bathroom accidents and cheek-reddening teen behavior, and also missing our mothers since both of our mothers have passed on. We reflect on signs and memories from our mothers from their heavenly journey. Please join us for a moment of cherishing the goods and the bads of motherhood. Welcome to the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
I'm Alex.
We share ourselves and we provide a platform for others to share.
We believe everyone has a purpose and a story to tell.
And we're back on the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Alex.
And guess what's around the corner?
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Both
Yes.
you and I, mothers to beautiful children that we love and we've cried tears over and we've celebrated and like all of the emotions, right?
We are so thankful to be mothers on this Mother's Day week. Yeah, and we both have moms.
We do. We do.
Or we wouldn't be here.
So we want to do a Mother's Day themed episode, and you're just going to throw some stuff at me today.
I'm going to throw some stuff at you.
We're just going to wing it.
So Julie alluded to, the pains, the good and bad that come with motherhood, and there's a lot. And we don't want to alienate anyone that is not a mother, because you are a mother. Like, we're all mothers. If you're a female, even if you don't have your own children, there's roles of mothering.
I'm sure you've given.
Yes. And or you have a mom. So this really does apply because someone brought you to this earth. But we wanted to just cover some Mother's Day topics and themes. So we're going to do a Q&A. So I'm going to start off and get this ball rolling with you, Julie. So what's the most valuable lesson you've learned from your mother?
I would say the most life-altering lesson I learned from my mother was work ethic. I came from two just work horses as parents, and my mother was always so willing to work and work hard. So I would say that's probably the strongest attribute. I always say the bit of advice that she gave me that always made the biggest difference, because she wasn't much of an advice giver. She didn't really offer that up much. So maybe that's why this stood out so much when she did do it. But it was when my son, my oldest, left the home and went on his church mission. She looked at me and she said, "Your home will never be the same after the day he leaves." And that was so right.
Oh.
We all had these roles that you fulfill. He was the funny one,
right.
And he was also the pain.
Dynamic.
Yeah, he was also the pain in the butt that caused a decent amount of friction in our home. And, because those two things go together. And it was weird. The home was quiet for several months. And then my girls started to blossom into being, like my second daughter, she started to fulfill the role of being the funny one. And so it was weird that was so relevant to me from the moment she said it, because I just watched it happen in my home.
She knew a thing or two.
Yeah. And she had 4 kids. She had watched them leave the home and see how it changed. So it was a great bit of advice. All right.
Yeah,
so
you're making me think about that. I'm like, yeah, definitely my home changed with each kid leaving. With just little Allie. I'm like just holding on to that last one.
White knuckle.
Don't go. Never leave me. Abandonment is real.
What was the thing that your mom said?
So probably my most valuable lesson from my mom, I would say service. She worked not when I knew that. The mom I knew didn't have like a real job. She was a nurse with my older siblings, but my dad, as a doctor, she didn't need to work. She kept her license up with just doing some hours.
Continuing education.
Yeah, at the mental hospital in Provo. And but she made a point of donating her time to auxiliary committees and service in the community. And so I think that I have always felt like that is important, to give back and not be paid for it. So whether it's your church group or another community group, but just giving of your time and talents in some way to benefit others. So I would say that is what I learned from her. Okay. Now I want to go into a funny memory. So this is you now, not your mom. So what is the most embarrassing thing your kid or kids have ever done in public, and how did you handle it?
Oh, goodness. my girls had a better awareness of what was going on around them. My son, not so much. You already heard this funny story today that I told, but I'll tell it again.
Yeah, tell it again.
Okay, so my son went to the same high school that me and my husband went to, and he is full of tons of personality. He was a tease. That's just how he loved to make everyone laugh. And his English teacher at high school, as a senior, so he's a little more bold now, as a senior, was my husband's ex-girlfriend from when my husband was in high school. We all know each other, everything, like all's well, like we're all friends.
It's small town.
Good. It's small town.
Problems. Yeah.
But he would always rib her a little bit, and he would always call her by her first name instead of her actual name. And she would tell him to knock it off, knock it off, knock it off. And he wouldn't. And then, he'd be good for a couple of days, and then he'd rib her again. Well, one day, I don't know what got into him, but in front of the entire class, he said, "Hey," and then he called her by the first name. "Hey, is my dad a good kisser?" Everyone in the class heard it. And she, to her credit, she didn't send him down to administration. She didn't do anything. She actually called my husband and she's like, "You probably better take care of this kid because this is what he just said in class." So that was a pretty embarrassing one, but because of the way it was handled, also funny at the same time.
It is funny, but you can see he was definitely trying to get a rise out of her.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's ones that like maybe didn't go, like had a little more damage to them. I don't know. I'll have to think and see.
I'll do one from Little, like when Little and in public. So my son Jackson, oops, I should not maybe said which son. Okay, so one of my sons, he like would never want to go to the bathroom. He would just hold it and hold it and hold it. And back in the days when you would go pick out videos, right? You'd go to the video store to
like
get a video.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. It seemed as though whenever we were running errands, he had a crisis.
Uh-huh.
And we're in Blockbuster and he has a crisis and he literally shit his pants.
Oh, no.
Yes. Like full on. And it's not a toddler. Like,
yeah,
he's like 7 or 8, and it's get
and
to the
you're
bathroom,
in Blockbuster or wherever,
underwear in the garbage. Have to have him clean up, make sure he washes his hands, and then we have to go straight home. We didn't even check out videos, but it's like, dude,
yeah,
if you're gonna shit your pants, there's a warning sign. Give me at least a 30-minute,
Yeah, I'll help you.
I know that. So that one is that.
Did the whole staff know?
I mean, I did not probably look anyone in the eye. I don't know if they knew. I was mortified. So that was like literally I mean, to me, that's one of the most embarrassing things because to lose your faculties as a person, I have wet my pants in public and
especially after having 4 kids.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Once was, I mean, it started early. I was a bedwetter growing up but I've played tennis matches where I've gone up to hit it overhead and like, oh, okay.
Now
my bladder just decided it was too full. But I've taken precautions and that's gotten better. But yeah, I think for me, it's embarrassing when my children couldn't control themselves or I couldn't control me or my children, right? So it's a control thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's embarrassing when you can't control
all of the things that you should be
able to
controlling.
control.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Okay. Anything else come up for you?
I'll keep thinking.
Okay. What do you think is the hardest part of being a mother?
Oh, heavens. I would answer this question differently depending upon what portion of motherhood I was in.
Okay.
Right?
Let's do that then. Let's say, what's the hardest part when they're babies? What's the hardest part when they're teens? And what's the hardest part as adults?
Yeah, babies, I would say absolutely going without sleep because I did not have fantastic sleepers. I know there's mothers who are gifted with these kids who at 3 weeks are 8 hours at night. I'm like, no,
Never,
not
never
happen
did
for
I
me.
ever.
No. So I would say in that age, lack of sleep. I would say when they went from like 4 through teens, seeing them sad and also not knowing how to help them. Because sometimes I was too harsh when I tried to help them. I would be like, you put yourself in this position. They didn't need to hear that. But that's what I was saying to them at that time.
Right.
So seeing them sad and then me compounding it by not handling it the best. Sometimes I did handle it well. Sometimes I didn't. So I would say that was the hardest part through those years. And then as an empty nester mother, now only fulfilling the role as mother when they ask me to, because they don't like me to shove myself into their lives. No adult kid likes that. And so you have to wait. You have to be patient. And then they come to you and they say, will you help me with this? Or I have a question about this or whatever. And that's been really kind of empty and lonely, but also very sweet when they finally turn to you.
Right. When they
and
ask
you for the
need
things.
you, you're like, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, that I would say it depends on the age.
Yeah. I would echo all of that. So for me, when they're babies, especially with the first one, because it's your first time, I was also living up in Moscow, so I was away from family and just not sleeping, trying to figure out like everything. It was more than babysitting. At that point, that's all I had done.
Are they growing? Are
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
And is he eating enough? Oh, he just threw up. Or
Oh,
like,
I just made him bleed when I
Yeah.
went to cut his fingernails. Like, yes, it's so
like,
hard.
is he growing? And then also, I would say a hard part of mothering at that point too is being hard on myself. Like my body changed a lot and it didn't just go right back, and wanting to feel good in my body again. I'm way more patient now, but that was hard. And I think young mothers today, even they have more images and pictures and all the lifestyle porn that's on social media, of people comparing. I can imagine it's probably even
I don't
harder
have the
today.
best stroller. I don't have the
Yeah.
cutest nursery. Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine.
So I didn't have all that extra noise even, and I was struggling with, oh, look at my body. Why is my belly just hanging on my lap? And whatnot, not. And so that was like the infant. Teens, it's again reminding them that you're the parent is hard, but then still wanting to be their friend and be the cool parent. And I know with my boys specifically, and coming of age, they would get teased a lot about my big fake boobs or whatever. And I can say that now, but it was embarrassing to them. And they would want me to wear baggy sweatshirts. And then I trying to overcome these issues of wanting to be sexy for men because of my first failed marriage and then all the things, and like realizing that it's just image is not as important as we think it is. And just owning, like, yes, hygiene is good. Take care of yourself. But I think for my boys, it was hard navigating like second marriage, divorce, like all the things, and wanting to be this great mom, but then trying to be a lover and I was lost for a few years, I think. And then as adult children, I'm just so proud lately of my kids. Like, I know we're not supposed to be prideful, but I'm so proud of them. Like all of them. And
you've had some good moments lately.
Yeah, like
you had a daughter just graduate from college.
It's this Saturday coming up. So it's actually Mother's Day weekend that she's going to be graduating, but we took pictures a few weekends ago. And so, but just
that's
how
so awesome for
smart
her.
she has become. And I feel like I have raised independent children because I didn't do it for them. And my parents didn't do it for me. They allowed me to like go figure it out. they were always there when I needed help if I asked. And that's what I've been trying to mirror for my kids. And at times they might have thought that I was maybe not as, what's the word? Not as involved or hands-on as I should have been, because I was spread pretty thin when you're trying to be a single mom and do all the things I've been trying to do. But I was always there. And I hope that they could say that if someone were to ask them this question or one of these questions, that they would have some good things to say about me, because I'm just super proud of them.
Yeah, as you should be. Yeah, they're good kids.
What about you? Anything else on that?
No. I mean, I am super proud of my kids, and I think we both raised independent kids who do their thing. Like, and that's that bittersweet or the sad sweet that I was talking about, because I raised independent kids, they're gone. They're doing their thing, which is amazing. It's so awesome. But it also leaves you as a mother going, okay, what role do I fulfill now? You know? So
we both know what we're good at. We're really good at shopping.
Yeah.
We're good at exercise. We're good at cooking.
My banking account doesn't like it when I fulfill the role that way that much.
But we try to operate from an abundance mindset that we know it will flow back in.
Yeah, it'll come
and we're
back
just
around.
doing our part to stir the economy during a recession or whatever is going on right now. I justify it all. Trust me. All right. What is a trait you hope you inherited from your mother?
Oh, do you know, I don't even have to think about this one. My mother was the most kind person in her church group. They could assign her anyone to go visit, and my mom just marched right down there and visited them. Like, she was very, very loving that way. Very loving and non-judgmental. And I think I'm more closed at that. Like, I kind of don't even want to know what's going on in anybody else's life. And I just do my own little thing. And I wish I was more like her with that I was more just, hey, how can I help you? What can I do for you? And you just show up at somebody's house and be there for them. I'm not very good at that.
Just at the drop of a hat. Yep. Okay. I'm ready to go.
Oh, you needed me to watch your kids for 2 days? Sure. Bring them over. Like, that was my mom.
It does seem like a lot more of that went on when we were growing up, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, so-and-so's family's going to be here for a few days. The dad's in the hospital, or
yes,
you just did that.
Yeah.
And I know I had this conversation with someone last weekend about community, like block parties and things like that went away. Like, the kids played night games in the street. That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Our kids drive clear across town and then they hang out at one friend's house inside, but it's not the street you live on or the cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's a need for that, and I hope we can get it back. But anyway, it starts with us though, right?
What is the one thing you would like to be like your mom?
I think it almost is similar to my first answer. I would say I'm going to take it from a different angle and channel like my past, but that I am resilient because she was resilient. So maybe she taught me that lesson silently, but I'm more aware of it now. Having married an immigrant doctor in med school that had an accent and was tanner than she was, and
culturally at that time,
and that was not done a lot. And then to just elope and go back east to Johns Hopkins with my dad and leave her nucleus of a family in Salt Lake was, I know, not easy for her, and she probably went through a lot of growing pains from her family that she repressed for a while. I think that some of those did come out as we were being raised, and she did return back to Utah. But I think that's why she wanted to go back to Utah so much, is to reconnect with family and church and community, and also probably to be like, here I am.
I did it.
Like, we did it. My
Mhm.
husband's amazing. I mean, my dad is a true like warrior, rock star, the most selfless man. But we did our dads.
Yeah.
We like talked about our dads. Was that last year or the year
Mhm.
before? So we already covered fathers on We Share, but that's why we wanted to do mothers
Yeah.
this time. But yeah,
When you speak of your parents, I wish I could have met them.
they're. I wish they were still here. They're just. I need like Polly Pocket versions of my
Yeah.
parents.
Mhm.
Like they're just literally they overcame a lot to do what they did, and then they had 6 amazing kids.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate we're not all really close now that they're gone. That just happens and life moves on. But I mean, there's still time, so
Yeah, hopefully
things
you can
can
fix
change.
it.
Yeah,
Uh, this is going to be way out of left field, but I feel like I need to ask it because I
yeah.
almost asked it to our guests that we had previously.
Okay.
So it keeps coming up to my mind. So I might as well ask it.
Unleash the beast.
Yeah. Do you ever feel them?
Oh, all the time. My mom and dad. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Good.
Yeah. In fact, especially anytime I'm in a low moment or if I'm testing myself. So, for instance, when like let's use a tennis one because it's so vivid to me still this day, this tennis match. My mom died on September 1st. I was in a golf tournament in Sun Valley. 3 weeks later, my tennis team had already earned this trip to go to, I don't know, it's districts or sectionals in Colorado. But my mom died like 3 weeks ago and funeral and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to go. Like, I'm not mentally. And everyone's like, it's okay, Alex, if you can't come. I mean, we need you. And I'm like, no, like, if anything, my mom wanted me to be Serena Williams. If anything, I let my mom's tennis dreams down because she drove me to so many
Lessons.
tennis lessons in the country club and spent so much money thinking that I would channel all my anger as a child into this ball and win. So I went and I played my heart out. In one match in particular, we were to third set tiebreaker. And my symbol for my mom is the sun. And the clouds parted and the sun just came out and it was shining on me. And I served 10 straight points. I won 10 straight points. And that match had been back and forth and back and forth. But I just had this, and I was exhausted. I had taped one of my legs. I mean, I was falling apart. And I just got this surge, this emotion, chilled my whole, like, ran through my whole entire body. And I just channeled my mom and it felt like she was watching me.
What a great story.
And so that was like, yeah, that was a magic moment for me, for sure.
I ache for people who haven't had those moments, those feelings of people that they love who have passed on and that they can't still feel them. And I will ask this question of people, and it's about halfsies. Like, there are a lot of people who never feel the person that they love again. And I think it's a real skill to be able to just kind of soften that barrier and let that in.
And even if it's not her, if my simple belief is in that, because every time I see the sun, or I'm almost like looking for it, moments of the sun hitting me and heating up, and I'm like, thank you. And so, I mean, yeah, the tattoo on my wrist is the sun. So
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have one like that?
Oh, I don't connect with my mom very much. I've had really vivid moments with my dad, really vivid moments. I think the thing that I've done with my mom since she passed is there were some conflicts between us we hadn't really settled. And I know that I have softened on some of those. It was required by me.
Right.
And I feel like she's accepted that. Like, we're good.
Good.
Yeah. Like that those conflicts have softened and almost like she looks at me and she goes, I appreciate now that you're understanding why I made the decisions I did. And I that's the warmth I feel.
And
from her.
that you could take that next level or to translate it to us with our kids, I hope that our kids would say that about us with the ways we did things, because we just did the best we could with what we knew at the time.
Yeah, every mom is just trying to do, and we're just flawed humans. We're just trying to do good.
Yeah. But I just pray my kids have some good things to say at the end.
Yep.
Because I'll be here for it, or I'll be up there listening and cheering them on, and sending down rainbows and butterflies and the sun and all the things.
So that they know.
Okay, let's do one more.
Okay.
So family dinners have always been fun, right? Like they're fun. So what is the most chaotic family dinner you ever remember?
Well, there's been good, like funny ones and not so good ones. So, I feel like I'm bagging on my kid, but man, he was a huge personality. He hates taco soup, hates it still to this day, even though he's vastly increased his all of his foods. But we had an ongoing joke when he was little that all he would eat was cereal, peanut butter sandwiches. Nally chili was a favorite of his, but he wouldn't eat taco soup.
Yeah, that's almost taco soup like.
Yes, we have talked about this multiple times. So he looked at me one day and I said, "Hey, we're going to Green Canyon swimming. If you don't eat something, I'm not taking you. I'll drop you off at Grandma's." And he would not eat it and would not eat it and would not eat it. He wanted to go so badly. So finally he ate it. And he threw up taco soup all over my dining room table, everywhere. Like, we still laugh about it.
So he got to go because he did eat it?
He did eat it,
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though he didn't hold it down.
Yeah. And then another time, we had just finished eating and we were still together as a family. So we were playing family games. And it was a game where, this person reads the card and then everybody else has to guess. And so it was Marley, and she was reading the card, and she pronounced Yosemite National Park Yosemite. We were weeping with tears, laughing.
Because she, poor girl, didn't know.
Yeah, here's this 15-year-old girl that doesn't know that it's Yosemite National Park. And I even bought her a Yosemite shirt a few years later. We tease her about it all the time. Like, it is such a fun memory. And she takes it in great stride.
Well, because
she didn't know.
Cute. Yeah. Like, that's just a cute story.
Yeah.
So our family meal times, there always seemed to be like a +1 of my sisters, like whoever they were dating at college would come. Sunday dinners were huge. But the topics of conversation were always, they would skew medical or political, of both which I don't want to talk about when we're eating.
Yeah.
So often I'd be like, Dad, I can't. I don't want to hear about blood right now. But with many of them being in medical, it would just come up. And so I just felt like it was chaos we could never just sit down and eat and talk about nothing. Like, it couldn't just be a Seinfeld episode. It had to be medical or political, maybe sometimes even spiritual, but usually it was
the heavy topics.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about surgeries and blood, and I'm trying to eat my mashed potatoes. Can we just chill?
That's funny. Yeah. It's such a core part of who your family was, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially with both parents being involved in medical. Yeah.
So there's that. Anyway.
Do you have any with your kids?
Any fun meal moments?
Yeah, say this. Did you have...
Oh, they say I burn everything. And then I'm like, I have proof. Go to my Instagram and look up foodie. Look at many pictures of things I've cooked.
That are
I do not burn everything. Have I burned things? Yes, I have.
What were the one or two things that were always in your rotation that your kids are like, oh my gosh, Mom, we ate so much of that?
Oh, so I don't know if I'm OCD or I have some traits, but I liked my routine. So back when they were little, it was Monday we ate this, Tuesday we ate this, Wednesday we ate tacos
a
on
rotating
Tuesday.
Menu.
Yeah. And so you knew what you're going to get. And not everyone liked everything, but they at least had one night that they liked something.
Yeah.
But definitely the most go-to recipes were all from my ex-husband and my first ex-husband's mother. She gave me his cookbook. So early on in our marriage, she was worried that maybe as a vegetarian at the time, I wasn't taking care of her son and like he wasn't getting proper nutrition in college. And so she gave me a cookbook that she like awesome cards, handwritten. I still use it to this day of her recipes, you know, so her mac and cheese, her buttermilk pancakes, her lasagna, her spaghetti. And I bet
these are such good recipes.
I could make these for my husband and he loved them. And then my kids grew up and we still call it grandma's. Like, are you going to make grandma's this? And I just think it's so cute that that's a perfect example of an awesome mother.
Yeah.
Like that I am going to take a moment to acknowledge because she was a great mother and a great cook. And she brought her family together through meals. And I brought my family together through her meals. I have definitely explored more with just Allie and I at home. Like we try a lot of new things.
A bigger range.
Yeah. But there were years too where it was like, okay, I'm picking up takeout or I'm ordering pizza because single mom and I'm working 2 jobs and trying to run a business. And I mean, there was some chaotic years that I didn't do the best. And I would be lying if I said my fridge is stocked right now, because I think Allie and I half the time look like we're bachelors. You know, we've got like cottage cheese, pickles, yogurt.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean,
carrot sticks.
tuna pouches in the pantry.
Yeah.
But there's no cereal. There's no milk. There's like totally shifted gears from when my boys were little.
Right.
So.
I think girls are better at that anyway.
Yeah.
I think boys are, they yearn for that.
They're like, feed me.
Yes,
They're constantly eating.
And girls are just like, yeah, whatever. Like when I travel with my girls, we don't have to eat 3 meals a day.
No.
You never do. We'll be a late breakfast and then we'll be like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Do we want to get something? You know?
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah.
That looks good. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's more like what feels good or looks good, not like I have to eat it this time and like this amount of protein. And yeah, it's been nice to just relax and chill out and not be so obsessed with food in my later years.
That is good.
With
that
Allie,
is a good
but
part of
have
it.
no idea what she would say about this. Like, or she'd be like, my mom's starving me. And I'm not really, but
right.
I'm not making breakfast because we don't eat breakfast.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this to close out the episode.
Yeah.
You're a fantastic mother.
Oh, no, you are.
Yeah. You've had,
Thank you.
I think you travel a different road as mothers.
Yeah.
You've got these kids that you're mixing a gene pool together and then life situations. And sometimes those aren't the best and we're just trying our hardest, but you just need to be told you're a great mama.
Oh, thank you, Julie. I seriously think you are. And I'm so thankful for you. And I'm thankful for my kids and my mom.
All that they've taught us, right?
Yeah. For the opportunity to be a mom.
Yeah.
Because there were a few years that I did not think I was going to get to be a mom and infertility. And I prayed so hard for my son, Lincoln. And I know now, and we've talked about this, Lincoln and I, is God knew how tough he was going to be. And he had to make sure I was really committed and all in.
Are you really ready, Alex?
Yeah. Are you ready for this? And I am. And I'm so thankful for his talents and his craziness, because it's my craziness is what he tells me. He goes, I got it all from you. And maybe he did, but we're all a little bit crazy and we're all just trying to do our best.
Makes an interesting life.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks for joining us today on the We Share podcast.
If you've loved what you've heard, please give us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends and share this show.
You can also follow us for recipes, lifestyle and fashion tips, book reviews, and more on WeSharePodcast.com.
Join our Share Squad and sign up for our newsletter there.
We would love to connect with you.
We share on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a follow.
A big goodbye squeeze and sending you all our love from Alex and Julie.
Join us next week on the We Share podcast.